Alrighty, so this is the body that I'm going to use for my ultimate guitar. It is an older, I don't know, 10 years or whatever, first act guitar that I picked up incredibly cheap. I don't know, probably 20 bucks or something. I don't think I would spend more than that for a guitar that's fairly banged up and, you know, chintzy. Well, not chintzy, but not very expensive to begin with. So anyway, I don't even know what kind of wood it is. I've tried to research it, and I think it's something called Paulonia or something. I'm not even sure. But I do know that it's extremely light. I remember when it had the neck on it, which I repurposed for something else a few years ago. It sounded great unplugged. The neck I didn't like, but the body was very resonant, very rich sounding. So this is what I'm going to use, and what I'm going to do is take everything off of it and eventually strip it, repaint it, and that will be the body that I use. So let's dive into this, and I have my Seymour Duncan little screwdriver handy, nice and small, works great. Plug, Seymour Duncan, love the pickups. Hopefully I will have Seymour Duncan pickups put into my finished guitar, but we'll see about that. That's another video. So I'm going to take all the stuff off of it, weigh it, just because I'm curious, and we will see what happens. So I'm going to weigh this and see how much it weighs, and then I'll take everything off of it, and of course I'm not going to waste video time, 15 minutes of me unscrewing screws and whatnot. So we'll set this, zero it out, and I'm sure that you can't see. It weighs in at 4 pounds 3.5 ounces. So already that's a fairly light guitar with everything on it. So I wonder what the body itself will weigh with everything taken off of it. I'm going to take a wild guess and say 3 pounds. So let's see how close, maybe just slightly over, but we'll see how close I am. I took everything off, 15 minutes or so, whatever, watch TV, take everything off with the screwdriver. So you have the strap buttons, and somebody did the little matchstick trick with one of them. Apparently the hole was stripped, so they stick this in there and screw it back in, and that helps tighten it up. I would have used a little bit of wood glue, but that's just me, whatever. I definitely won't be using these. See my other video about the strap locks with washers. That's definitely the way to go. Then took off the back plate. There is a lot of rumors about if you take off the back plate, it helps the guitar have a better tone. Whatever, I don't know. I just take it off because it makes it a lot easier to change strings, even though this has a big slot in it, which would make it fairly easy anyway. I usually just take it off anyway, no biggie, and it's pretty dirty and filthy. Then we have the jack plate here. I will probably reuse the jack plate. It's pretty banged up. It looks like some of the finish is wearing off of it, but who cares? This is going to be a guitar that I'm going to actually use and abuse, so why not? Why am I going to go buy a new one? I will definitely replace the jack here, because what happens is the contacts start to oxidize, and this definitely looks like it has already started that. And I don't know, does it affect the tone? I don't know, maybe it does, it gets in the way of the contact, I don't know. But the big thing for me is that this is probably an inexpensive one, and this thing here starts to kind of loosen a bit, so you have to open it and push it in to make a good connection. And once it starts to oxidize, like I can see it's kind of dirty all in that little barrel there, you're not getting a good contact, so you get scratchy and staticky, and it's just a pain. So it's easier just to replace that. We have the tremolo, and I will probably reuse the tremolo. We'll have to see. The block here is, a very inexpensive, cheap one. It's cracking right here where the tremolo arm goes in. But what I like is, it's a little dirty, but I don't know if you can see, it has the little grooves that this sits into. And I like it because, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it seems if they wiggle around too much, then it can affect the tuning stability while you're playing. You dip the bar down and these get pretty loose. Then when you come back up, if they've shifted over, even like a millimeter, whatever, a fraction of a millimeter, it throws the tuning off. So I'll probably reuse it. I might replace the block, but we'll have to see what happens. I like these solid pieces. I don't know, I think it helps the tone a little bit to be more of what I want it to be. A little brighter, a little more sustained. But as far as replacing the block, we'll have to see once I put the whole thing together, because everything adds up sound-wise. So I may find that, okay, yeah, you know what, I definitely want a brighter, more sustaining sound out of it, so then I would replace the block. If I find that it sounds great, why replace it? Everything adds up, everything's a little bit. Maybe the guitar is a little bit bright. So then this sort of helps to kind of tame a little bit of the high end. I don't know, but I am not at all afraid of using whatever parts get me the sound that I want to get out of a guitar. I don't buy into the, if you upgrade everything to the best sounding parts, then you'll have a great sounding guitar. Because what sounds great? A guitar might be too bright for me, but might be perfect for somebody else. A guitar might be too dull for somebody, and might be perfectly good for somebody else because they don't want a lot of high end. I don't know. So at any rate, that's what we have with that. And then, of course, I took this off, and I will definitely replace the pickups. There's the phone. I will probably use this just because, hey, if it works, it works. Probably reuse the pots just, again, because if it works, it works. And that's about it. So let's take a look at the body. And we have the body. It is stunningly light. Unbelievably light. And it sounds decent. I like it kind of, it sounds just kind of clear, I don't know, bright, I kind of like it, warm, and I do like that if I'm holding it down at this end here, just sort of with the tips of my fingers, every little knock I can feel the vibrations, so it really seems to resonate. But I'm no wood expert in any way, shape, or form. All I care is that the end result sounds great, but we can always fine-tune everything as we go. If this body turns out to be a little too warm, we can brighten it up with, like I mentioned, replacing the tremolo block with a good solid steel one that'll brighten up the sound, brighter pickups. There's definitely ways around it. If the body's too bright, we can kind of dim things a bit with the potentiometers, the tone controls, whatever. We can kind of, tame some of the high end, whatever. But, so that's what we have here. And I was a little bit surprised that it has the 3 individual pickup routes. Usually an inexpensive body, what they do is they have what's called a swimming pool route, or a universal route, and it's just a big rectangle. That way they can put in humbuckers, they can put in single coils, they can put in any combination that they want without needing to get a different body. So they can have these bodies made, and they're just all made exactly the same. Humbuckers, it doesn't matter. It's just a big open route. And people do say that the big open route gives it a little bit of a kind of open, airy kind of sound to the finished guitar. Then some people like that there's more wood. It gives it a little bit of a warmer, a more woody tone, just because there's more wood. And again, what do these words mean? Who knows? There is a lot of gunky finish. I don't know if you can see. There's like big globs. There's globs that were sanded down just so that they could put the tremolo in. They could fit it into so much gunk. And there's all kinds of very thick finish all in here. People think that there's rumor again. If there's no finish, in the routes, some people even don't finish under the pickguard because the more exposed wood helps the wood to breathe, helps with the tone, gives it a warmer, more organic sound. I don't know. Who knows? I'll try to get as much of the finish off as possible and then refinish it with something much thinner. And I don't know if I can get the stuff out of here. Probably not, because this is probably some sort of a polyester finish and it's near impossible to get off. We're going to have to heat and scrape it all off to begin with. I don't know if I can get in here and chisel everything out. It might not even be worth it, but who knows. But it does make me wonder, with how light it is, I wonder how much the finish weighs. Could be a couple of ounces, I don't know. But seems like a lot. As I was taking the stuff off, I did notice that the wood is extremely soft. So, I can kind of punch my fingernail in and make dents in it and stuff, even with the finish, which is a fairly hard finish. And that probably contributes to some of the brightness of the wood, just the really hard finish. But we'll see what happens. So let's weigh it up and see. I think I could be a little bit wrong. I think it could be less than my 3-pound guess. In the phone again. Holy cats, I'm popular. 2 pounds, 9 7/8 ounces. So that is incredibly light. A light guitar body is like, 3.5 pounds, 3.25 pounds. So this is incredibly light. But anyway, that's what we have. So stay tuned for the next video.